No, it's you're alive now. You're aware now. You have energy now. You can see now. You can feel now. You are beyond human. There's something inside you that is coming alive. And so I've said quite a bit on the topic, but these are things to think about when you feel up against the ropes, when you feel down and out. Take a lesson from Answery, the guy that's been doing this on Access TV for 6 years, the guy that wasn't supported when he started doing the show by people that ought to be supporting me, the guy that keeps doing this over and over and over, not because I have some magical power, talking about things not because I have a crystal ball. I am not under mind control. I can see some things that are coming upon the horizon that need to be discussed, and it's normal. We have that phone call. I'm going to go to that swiftly. But let me say this first. One of my favorite films is Dances with Wolves with Kevin Costner. And perhaps next week I'll bring the clip. But our world is changing, and the only reality is that change is constant. And to resist that fact of life, that fact of reality, is to be in suffering for Noble Truths Buddhism. Attachment, not the best thing. World's changing pretty quickly. You might want to adjust on the surfboard of life to stay in balance. They're talking in the tent, and there's concern about more white men coming, more John Dunbars coming, but evil ones, because Dunbar was different. That's why you want to come out to the plains and see it before it was gone. And they're sitting there having this conversation in the tent, and they're like, I'm thinking white man's coming, guys. I don't know. I just, premonition. And the elder, we do need to respect our elders, but sometimes things need to evolve where we're listening to the young. And the elders, he picks up this European metal helmet. This is the soldier that came to our land. This soldier is one of many other soldiers. We killed this man. This is the arrow. Do not be concerned. We are fine. Everything is fine. We will never be invaded. We will never be taken over. We will always have our land. After all, look at this, that they did not evolve with the times. And they were facing a force of darkness that poisoned them and removed them from this continent. 92% of the Native Americans that were in this region are gone, mostly from disease. Lewis and Clark comes down the Willamette River 10 years later, everybody's sick. You wonder why those people were all whacked out in St. John's? They were people slaughtered up there. And of course, why is Seattle named Seattle? Named after Chief Seattle, who understood it was a more powerful force coming in. They did not feel they could take on the enemy, so they surrendered to the white man, and they gave him tribute, and they called Seattle, Seattle. Where is the honor in that? None. Okay, so we have to go to the next phone call. And we are swiftly moving out of time. A 2-hour show would be great, but you can't have everything, but you have what you need, I guess, as the song goes. Hello, caller.
Well, hey, that was a lot to follow. I love that scene, too. And
you can't have everything you want, but you have what you need. How does the song go exactly?
You can't always get what you want.
You can't always get what you want, but you get what you need.
Yeah.
I have to remind myself that, Jan. How are you tonight?
I'm good, Alex. I'm really good. And, you get these spiritual upswings on top of everything. And, it's a great time to be me and awake in this time. I'd rather be awake than what I see out there. And I'm seeing people wake up, and it's a good thing. I just, it's refreshing when I see someone who has eyes.
We can create some real good times this summer.
Yeah.
And here's a positive prediction. I really think that Oregon's going to be the breadbasket for the world. And if we go through major changes in our weather, Oregon could become warmer. What that means is more food could be grown and shipped out of this region. We talked about the repercussions of that being dominated by a superpower, but there are positive aspects of that too. We have to all grow our own food.
Yeah.
And you brought that up a couple of weeks ago with the seeds.
Well, and there's quite an organic food movement. but they're moving out of Portland and moving south. But there is an organic food movement. Then I think there's going to be renegade organic farms because, Monsanto, you brought that up. As they're not going to let go of the control of food. That's part of the deal. But we can fight that, and that's a good thing. What I wanted to say, why I called, is because you touched on something that I have heard. I believe Sharia law is against interest rates on money loaned. And so it could be that these greedy guys just don't want Sharia law because what would happen to all that interest they're charging?
Well, it sure fits the pattern, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Where there's war, they are imposing a central bank. And there's something going on right now with the dinar. It's the Iraqi currency. And Hillary Clinton brought all the U.S. ambassadors together to have a conversation about the dinar. And because there's so many theories out there and things to be concerned about, a lot of people are jumping to conclusions and say something big's going to go down because they brought all the U.S. ambassadors together. But it definitely deals with this Iraqi currency and those that have invested in it.
I didn't know that. Thank you.
Yeah, well, there's just so much going on.
Yeah, there's so much going on.
But you're right that it comes down to controlling economic structures and banks, and that's the common theme here.
Well, I got to say one thing in closing. If we have a revolution like they did in Egypt, I hope to God we have the good sense not to give up to the military.
Oh, God. And then all the military took over. Oh, is this not conditioning?
And it's a wonderful thing, don't you know?
Oh, yeah. The military. Oh, the military.
So, there you go. There you go. We won the revolution. We gave it to the military.
The tanks have arrived.
And I think it's our military, by the way. Anyway, good night.
Good night. Other reports, too, U.S. warships going to Egypt. That was the news last week. Big stuff. Big stuff's going on. Number 49, China maneuvers for U.S. defense contracts, and we will take 2 or 3 more phone calls if they come in right about now. China maneuvers for U.S. defense contracts. We'll go to that call in T-minus 30 seconds. The maker of China's new stealth fighter jet has teamed up with tiny, unprofitable California company to try to launch bids for the U.S. defense contracts, possibly including one to supply Chinese helicopters to replace the aging Marine One fleet used by the president. Woo! They're going to make the president's helicopter. And it goes on and on and on. They're going to make our jets and all this stuff. And I just can't wait. Doesn't it make you guys proud to be a Marine? The strong. Army strong. Made in China. My uniform. Made in China. Look at that. I served a country. Great. Now, what do you have to say about another country about to make your military components? Anything at all, sir? Anything at all? Bill, we really got to get that grasshopper cricket sound effect. It's just, is that phone call still there? So in the next report, WikiLeaks, U.S. and China in military standoff over space missiles. Space missiles. The United States threatened to take military action against China during a secret Star Wars arms race within the past few years. According to leaked documents obtained by the Daily Telegraph, the 2 nuclear superpowers both shot down their own satellites using sophisticated missiles in a separate show of strength, the files suggest. The American government was so upset by China's actions in space that it privately warned Beijing that it would face military action if it did not desist. But of course, their satellite technology came from us. And this announcement comes from WikiLeaks, and I do question much of the information coming from WikiLeaks. We seem to have set up China and all their superpower apparatus and Intel building their computer, and the list just goes on. So use discernment. This next headline's fairly significant, too, in terms of China, but we'll wait till after this phone call. Hello, caller. Hello, good evening. Hello, hello. Marco Polo. So in this report here, you bring up number 51. This is very, very interesting. Brought it last week, didn't really get into covering it. Let's do it now. In graphic number 51, you see the headline about how China is preparing an elaborate underground for millions of people. So they're concerned about something taking place in the near future where they want their people to be secure and underground for whatever is going to take place, either nuclear war or major weather changes. We just were talking about all this other stuff going on. Bill number 51. And then we'll go and show the others. And so we have this report, Underground World hints at China's coming crisis. That article is completely separate from the next one. On to number 52. China is constructing eerie ghost cities. And you see all types of sacred geometry here. I don't know what's going on. Are they awaiting the returning gods? It's just a big question mark in my head. But no one lives here. And these are full-on cities, deep underground tunnels, very elaborate. They are building these cities for someone or something, and it's happening now. And this is why I don't like to see Lady Gaga dressed up in a bunch of meat. I mean, what is she, some sort of bacon wrap for the returning gods? You know, getting girls just dress up like whores and wearing meat dresses. It's not good. It's not good. Not very prudent. Has me concerned. So with that, Bill, let's go to the next phone call, and then we'll wrap it up from there. Hello, caller.
Yeah, hello?
Good evening. You're on the air.
Yeah, talk about the defense contracts. Do you have any idea how big those are?
They're massive. And
why can't we put Americans to work?
Well, look, hey, the deals are with China, too, on the solar panels as well. Why? Why is it happening? That's the question to ask, but I don't think it's by accident. We have a new economic structure, a new social structure, a new governmental structure coming into fruition that does not represent your interests or my interests.
Let another country trusted with, if we ever have to go to war with Russia, and then we realize they gave us faulty metal for our tanks.
And you look at the fact that we owe China a lot of gold right now that we don't have. Fort Knox, as I'm sure you know, it's empty. There's nothing there. So what does that mean? What does that mean?
I'm not worried about going to war with China. We can still crush them. The purpose is giving our money to them to build our tanks for our defense systems when we could do it. Remember back in the old days? We used to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The whole thing's whacked. So
Americans used to work.
Americans used to work. You know what we have to do? I want to thank you for your call because we're going out in 1 minute. We have to come up with a plan. Thank you for watching. For what we're going to do if the jobs don't come back. And that really, folks, it's off the dollar system. Forget the yuan. We've got to have another barter system. I don't know how to create that, but I know we have to look at it, and we've got to work together and put aside the things that maybe cause us to argue that are insignificant. We've got to focus on the golden prize. We've got to make Portland something that reflects something that's a part of our image, not something the big gangsters are trying to dominate and craft Portland as some sort of quasi-futuristic, self-contained city. Oh, we're so eco-friendly. We end up one day waking up in a gosh darn prison. 2012 is coming fast. We should have a lot of candidates for city council. It's not about winning in the election, but we win other ways. We win the battles. We spread consciousness. We plant seeds. We say the things that need to be said in Portland right now because this is the year, this is the day, this is the age that we make a change. And it's all up to you. It's always been up to you. We create our reality every single second of every single day, of every single month, of every single year of our lifetimes. Even if we're zombies, walking through reality, doing the thriller dance, we're still creating our own reality. We are officially out of time. There are lots of things going on. Give me a call at 503-252-2525. Let's bring up that Bob Felix graphic. He's coming to Portland February 26th. 2011. He's going to be on this show next week, so you know what's coming next week. We're doing a full-on special on Earth changes, sweeping the planet at this time. And so I am very, very pleased to bring Bob Felix tonight. You'll have to forgive me, I brought no romantic music tonight to listen to. I'm never gonna let you go. Oh, there's something. Have a wonderful Valentine's Day, folks, even if you only spend it with yourself. Remember, you have to love yourself before you can be loved by others. So let's think about that. Let's think about our own power as we walk deeper and deeper into the uncertain future ahead. Take care, and God bless you all.